Alright, General Electric diesel electric locomotive series 7-7 GE instructions loading resistor type 17EM19 General Election. General Electric. Alright, introduction, scope, description, data, installation, location, grounding the resistors, external supplies, operation, connection, switch operation, resistor loading, before loading, loading in series. Maintenance inspection, periodic, semi-annual, annual. Troubleshooting, component removal. Resistor grids, contactors, blower motor, and switch and meter box. Introduction. The scope of the instruction is the publication that covers. Alright, introduction, scope. Instructions in this publication cover the installation, operation, maintenance of the 17EM99 loading resistor applied to all forms of the EM99. Description: the loading resistor is an assembly of the air-cooled resistor grids that dissipate with the heat produced by the flow of the electrical current. The EM99 is remotely controlled through the 50-foot cable by a 11-point switch, which provides 10 loading steps, one open circuit. Each step of the particular combination of the power contactors will be closed to provide different interconnection grids, will result in the change of the resistance from one step to the other, the grid converting electrical energy into heat dissipating in a DC blower with the air taken from the surrounding atmosphere circulated through the grids and warm air exhausted through the gravity closed by the louvers are located on the top of the resistor. The purpose of the loading resistor is provided with the stationary loading of the generator's alternator. The 17AM99 is capable of fully loading locomotives, engines, generators, alternators with the input of the traction of 4,000 horsepower based on 93 transmission efficiency with a capability extending to up to 6,100 feet above sea level. For the higher rating series of connection, older boxes can readily be removed within the following instruction loading series. The 17EM99 can be used for checking and setting diesel engine horsepower, adjusting generator alternator characteristics to meet specified curve, checking and setting the generator alternator currents, loading the braking and runs. High voltage of the fed of the resistor. Make strict observance of safety precautions necessary. Observe the cautions and warnings. Alright, data type 17EM99 rated capacity continuous 4,000 engine horsepower based on 93% transmission efficiency up to 6,100 feet. Maximal permissible current 5,400 amps to 0.52 ohms. Amp shunt meter 4,000 amps at 100 MV. Maximal allowable voltage 2,000 volts. Individual grid resistance see figure 5. All grids except F 0.485 ohms. F 0.82 ohms. Meters voltage Digitech model 271A used on the EM99C1 100 volts equal to 1,999 volts. Digital model C271 used on the EM99C2 1 volt equal to 1,999 volts. Current Digitech model 275 1 volt at 660,000 amps. External supply surrounding air 2,000 CFMs. Power contactor 74 volt DC 3 amps. 70 psi air instrument 105 to 115 volts AC 50 to 60 hertz fuses and meters 1/8 of an amp at 250 volts weight of approximately 5,850 pounds. Installation. I'm recipient new 17EM99. Remove all the space with both inside and outside of the resistor. Check for the possible damage received within the transistor. Loading resistor semi-portable may be removed using lifting lugs located on the top of the resistor housing. Loading location. Loading the resistor should be located so that the switch in the meter box connected with the resistor by a 50-foot cable may be placed in the locomotive cab during testing. The unit is level. Ground the resistor and housing. At the bottom of the both sides of the resistor housing, the taps of the ground connection. See figure 1 and 2. After the resistor is grounded, all external parts that the operator might touch will be grounded to include the switch and the meter box grounded the resistor through the 50-foot cable. Warning: do not apply power to the resistor until the properly grounded because of the high voltage of these fed into the system. Alright, this is a picture of the resistor outline. Removable side cover. Note the supported device will be grounded 2.5-inch diameter lifting lug. Removable front cover. The blower reference. Removable screen. 7/8 of an inch multi-ton. 7/8 of an inch diameter multi-ton grossage. 1/8 the diameter strain of the relief of the connection with the power supply. 3/4 inch pipe for air supply. The ground connection reference. Levers in position, loading and loading term, rear doors, diameter holes for 1/2 inch of the connection, both the screen, removable mesh, 1/2, 13 tap ground connection, both sides. Alright, figure 2, model 17EM99 loading resistor, E14624, 1 to shunt 2, the U-shaped base bar, one U-shaped bus bar, disconnected air diffuser housing both sides of the resistor. 3, 4, draining access placed both ends of each of the diffuser housing. 5, negative connection. 6, blower. 7, positive connection. 8, the switcher meter box. 9, the ground tap. 10, the shunt amplifier panel. 11, 110 VAC terminal connection. 12, 74 VAC terminal connection. 13, thorough fitting at 110 volts AC and 74 volt DC wires. 14, external air connection. 15, air shutoff valve. 16, air strainer. 17, power contactors. 18, lifting lugs both sides. Alright, external supplies, see figure 3. The power air contactor can be supplied with the most locomotive. However, it is recommended that these items are supplied by the independent source that will simplify the testing of the resistor and the locomotive. The lack of the correct supply the following items to the resistor: a clean surrounding of the air supply, 20,000 cubic feet per minute. The resistor grids are cooled by the blower using the surrounding air supply at 20,000 cubic feet a minute at full road rated pass power. And if the resistor is located inside of the building, may be particular attention to the volume of the air needed at the affect of the building of the heat. Air is exhausted throughout the top of the resistor. The heat is capable of setting out off the sprinkler system of the cause of the damage. Low ceiling nearby stored material. 2. Clean, dry air, 70 psi. The power contactor requires 70 to 90 psi with the clean, dry air. The air must be free of the moisture, and it will interfere with the operation of the contactor's locomotive control. Air may be used. However, the filtered shopping air is recommended because it is usually drier, cleaner, and more reliable supply than locomotive air. Alright, 3. DC power, 74 volts. The power contactor requires 74 volt DC. The supply may be obtained by either shop test locomotive. Using reliable shop power will provide the more flexibility. Some of the locomotives do not have 74 volt DC. This shows the big system control diagram. Will start at the shop. It shows the supply by user air, supplied by user shop air supply. Referred to supply 74 volt DC. 110 volt AC 60 cycle regulator, 70 psi, going into the EM99 loading resistor DC only, fed to the resistor terminals. Terminals B1, the air contact from the shop goes into AC1, AC2, B negative, B1, B positive, B negative. The loading resistor has a positive negative which runs to the generator and alternator rectifier. Also, in the control compartment test locomotive, you'll see a 70 psi control air vessel going to the loading resistor. Feed contactors, feed engine running coil, 74 volt DC circuit breaker, a switch meter box, alternating power supply if the shop supply is not available. Caution, the loss of either power of the air to contactors will cause them to drop out under heavy load. They could resist the flash on the generator. AC power 115 volts at 60 cycles. The instrument requires 105 to 115 volts at 50 to 60 cycle AC that may be obtained with a reliable source. Operation: the 17AEM99A1 load resistor remotely controlled with the switch meter box connected to the resistor by a 50-foot flexible cable. The resistor can be switched with the 10 loading positions. One open circuit, the volt lamp readily directed on digital type instrument. The full line of voltage not brought out. The instrument is not necessary to match the meter to the calibrated leads. No, do not connect other type of meters with the loading resistor through any of the apparatus. The wire feeding with the standard meters furnished with the resistor will cause the standard instrument to read low and supplementary meters to read low. Connection, see figure 3. Use table 1 with the correct number of the cable to G for the adapter to determine the maximum fit current to be supplied to the resistor. See figure 4. Connect the resistor with the generator and alternator being tested in accordance with the instructions found with the locomotive manual. Observe the resistor polarity shown in figure 2. Caution, do not apply the reverse polarity to the resistor, as they will supply with a high voltage above the ground to the instruments and other parts of the resistor and may result in the damage of resistor components and will not allow the instrument to display the useful data. 3. Connects to the switcher in the meter box leads with this valve. Leave the 30 for the positive feed wire with the temperature. Disconnect with the field contactor operating coil. Leave the GF for the field contactor operating coil connection to the complete circuit. Leave the 35 positive feed wire temperature. Disconnect with the engine run relay coil. Leave the ARR with the engine run relay coil connection to complete the circuit. Leads battery positive and negative should be separate from the 74 volt DC with the supply with the Resistor by shop of the locomotive power to be U with the connection B positive and B negative to the locomotive 74 volt DC power supply at 13 and 4 PC and N on some of the locomotives. Do not tap the 74 volt DC directly off the battery if test locomotive, as there would be no circuit protection. Switch operation. The loading steps are chained with the pulling out of the switch handle with the switch meter box, rotating the desired position, then pushing it in. Then the pushing handle out the drops of the generator field contactor engine run relay, pushes it into the energizes the device. All switching should be done and deliberately move them with the locomotive throttle handle with the idle position. Alright, caution. Loading the resistor is not designed for the switching under load. The rest of the procedure would result in severe transit disability of the locomotive generators or the alternator. Therefore, to protect both locomotive equipment and the loading resistor, do not switch it under the load. Resistor loading. Before applying the load resistor, perform the following checks. Check the resistor ground connection. Check the loose parts of the tools left in the resistor. Check the supply at 74 volt DC, 110 volt AC, and 70 psi there. Check the correct testing connections between the locomotive and the resistor, between the locomotive and the switch meter box. The DC blower motor circuit is electrically connected to the resistor circuit so that the motor will be energized under the load and the speed increases proportionately to the load. Caution. Be sure that the blower is running during the resistor operation to avoid overheating the resistor components. And this shows a loading resistor ratings. You have your amperes on the bottom by thousands, and your volts by 200s on the side. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, Step 4, Step 5, Step 6, Step 7, Step 8, and Step 9, and Step 10 for the current limit. And it has the horsepower and engines from left to right, 4,000, 3,500, 3,275, constant power lines, engine and horsepower shown in base, and 93% transmission efficiency. Warning: resistor doors must be closed during the operation to keep the personnel from accidentally touching live internal components. Loading the resistor as follows. Load the resistor as follows. Start the engine, allow it to warm up, return the control handle to idle, put the selector switch in the on position, center the reverse handle, close the generator field switch, advance the control to the on, read the open circuit voltage of the generator alternator being used if the locomotive testing calls for the procedure, return the control handle to the idle, move the selector handle switch to step 10, advance the controller to the full on, read maximum current, adjust the current limit if necessary according to the instruction of the locomotive being tested. Caution: any step may be used with the continuous without damage to the loading of the resistor. However, the loading locomotive equipment supplying with the carrier of the load may overheat because of the heating of the heavy currents which flow in the high number of steps, allowing the overload for as short time as possible. 8. Return the control handle to the idle. Remove the selector switch to step 9. Advance the controller to hold on to read the volts and amperes. 10. Continue the step in the manner until completing the scope of the testing required by the testing locomotive instruction. Note: it will not be necessary to use all the steps on some type of these locomotives. Loading in series. To obtain the rating higher than 4,000 horsepower, the EM89 and the EM55 may be put in the series with the EM99. Determine the sequence of the testing any of the given step of the E99. The load will not exceed the rating of the resistor in the series. Connect the resistor to the EM99 as follows. See the figure 2 and 5 and remove the U-shape of the bus bar disconnect from the EM99. Determine the number of the conductors U with the table 1. Connect the negative terminal with the resistor being put in series to the EM99 shunt connection left vacant by the removed bus bar. 4. Connect the positive terminal to the EM99 bus bar connection left vacant by the removed bus bar. Alright, maintenance. Determine the schedule of inspection maintenance based on the operational condition of the amount of the time the load rig resistor in use. Inspection: the following routine inspection for the E17 EM99 for the details such each component instruction book. Alright, item. Cleaning. Blow off the resistor compartment with a clean, dry, compressed air, maximum 70 psi. Wipe insulator with a clean and dry cloth. Insulators. Check for the cracks and test tracking. Contactor. GEI 850 150. 85 150. Interlocking. CGE 85 155. Relay. CGEI 85 143. SB10 switch in switch box. CGEI 42086. Resistor grids. Check for broken barriers, distorted elements, foreign objects located lodged in the grids by using the flashlight looking down through the levers. If the grid must be removed with the following instruction: resistor grid replacement. Air diffuser. Drain any of the water that has collected. Inspect the floor through the drain, and if the cleaning is needed, remove the excessive cover. Connection. Inspect the tight and loosening connection on the bus bar contactors, interlocking terminal blocks, and inspect ground connection. General. Check for the insulation breakdown, air leaks, and the loose parts and tools left in the housing. Table 1, conductor cables. Maximum current 0 to 2700. Number of the cables 4. Of the conductors, 2 parallel. 2700 to 4050. 6 cables, 3 in parallel. 40,550 to 5400 maximum current. 8 cables, 4 in parallel. Semi-annual, change the element in the air filter supply and the contactor air. Annual, check all the connection for the leak and putting the pressure on the lines, applying soapy water around each connection. Troubleshooting, use the following table to refer to figure 5.8 with the locate the loading resistor trouble to refer to individual components instruction books where applicable to the correct table. Symptom, none of the contactors will operate, no air, pound contactors, ruptured air hose. Sluggish operation of all contactors, low 74 volt DC, low air supply with the air leaks and air filter needed cleaning. Individual contactor sluggish will not operate. Dirt with the magnet valve open cleaning, open coil, loose connections, dirt chips around the armature. Wrong sequence of the contactors. Check the switch cam, open shorted lead for the 50-foot cable turbo lugs interfering with the switching figures. Contact figures. Both meters will not read. Check the AC power supply, polar resistor, reverse loose connection. Check the 50-foot cable for opening short leads. Ammeter will not read. Check the connections of the SH1, SA1 switch box. Voltmeter will now read. Open resistor VM, VM2, VM1, VM2, VM3, or VM5 will check the connections of VM5. Check the connections of VM4 switch box and on C2 form on the SA1 panel. Voltmeter reader approximately 10 times higher than normal. Check the resistor VM4 for opening. Grids overheating. Check the blower operation. Blower circuit open. Shorted elements. Levers not free to open. Levers are not free to open. Inadequate supply with the ventilating air. Recirculation of heated air. Wrong contactor. Sequence air diffuser block. Blower not operating properly. Check brush conditions. Communicator surface loose connections. Variation of the readings of the past experience. Caution readings of the IR line figure 4 with if not nearly parallel with the check the resistor operation contactor sequence loose busbar connections open shorted grids. Component removal, resistor grid. The resistor grid that may be replaced with one or more 2 methods and remove all the grids attached above the grid that will be replaced. Remove all the only the grid that be replaced with the first, making the provisions supported in the grid stacked above the contactors. Before unbolting the contactor from the resistor frame, disconnect the remove of the following items: air hose to the contactor bus bar with the contactor terminal connections, and 3 air chute 4 of the inner coil interlocking wire. 4 blower motor. The procedure removing the blower motor unit from the resistor is followed. Remove the 2 screen from the resistor. 2 disconnect the 2 blower motor leads. 3 loosen the rubber hose and seal clamp. Slide the hose seals back along the blower. Remove the bolts in with the secure blower motor, mounting the brackets for the frame loaded resistor. Slide blower out. Switching meter box C figure 9 switch. Sequence check with the contactor C figure 5 after replacing SP1 switch to ensure the right wiring accuracy. And then it goes into some different diagrams of the loading resistor. This one's your switch box. Resistor wire diagram, resistor wire diagram, resistor wire diagram. Alright, figure 11 shows the bus bar connection diagram. Incorrect the switch contact operation board terminal lug from the contact figures. Readout amplifier reference units. To remove the digital reading units, remove the cover of the switch and meter box, disassemble shield cam around the meter, disassemble the meter from the front plate, remove the screws, unplug the connection from the meter, remove the meter, refer to the manufacturer's manual, serve the meters. Alright, figure 12 shows the switch meter box, print command switch IC2 form, only fuses, switch, selector, switch, and readout units. And that completes this reading of the GE instructions for the loading resistor type 17M EM99-7 series.